You're probably familiar with the bonfires in Dark Souls, the unlockable fiery checkpoints in the famously hard series that offer a moment's respite before you have to head back out into the world to get your head kicked in. But guess what, person who has played Dark Souls? You aren't the only one who played Dark Souls. You know who else played it, and also has fond memories of those beloved bonfires? Game developers, that's who. Folks for whom swapping stories about boss fights and writing Solera of Astora fanfiction wasn't enough. They had to immortalise their love of Dark Souls the only way they knew how, by sneaking that iconic bonfire and its sticky-out sword into their game. Here are the weirdest places you found a Dark Souls bonfire. Beware mild spoilers for the following.
With all the zip of Nuka-Cola, wouldn't that be the cheeriest place in all the world? Where the river's made of quantum and the mountaintops are fizz, with fun and games and rides for all the moms and pops and kids.
It's hard to criticise the Dark Souls series without inciting the wrath of its many fans, but I think even the most ardent Souls supporter would agree that these otherwise excellent games don't have enough roller coasters in them. That's not a critique you can level at Fallout 4, however, which added coasters in 2016 with its Nuka World DLC. Unfortunately, by this point, Dark Souls 3 had already been developed and released with no roller coasters, or else we're sure From Software would have seen the error of its ways and gone back to the drawing board.
Lock in for pursuit.
You can, however, experience something akin to the joining of Dark Souls and theme parks, as buried within that Nuka World expansion is a glorious bonfire Easter egg, for those who know where to look. Where to look is the company town of Bradburton, a settlement built for Nuka World employees on the outskirts of the park, so they never have to be more than 5 minutes walk from their supervisors, the lucky devils. This destroyed house doesn't look like it would have much to offer, but scout around and you will find a sword buried in a mound of smouldering ash. As if that wasn't a clear enough nod to the longed-for Dark Souls checkpoint, this barely alight bonfire can even be kindled, a reference to the kindling mechanic in Dark Souls, which, when done to a bonfire, increases the number of times you can use your health-restoring Estus flask. And what happens when you kindle this one? Health restoring stim packs. We see what you did there, Fallout 4. Other delightful touches in this scene include a strategically placed sun clock, surely a nod to Dark Souls' Knight Solaire and his Praise the Sun catchphrase, and even more stim packs to be had if you actually yank the sword out the bonfire. Also, now you have a sword. Why did we never think of doing this in Dark Souls? You can never have too many swords in that game.
1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Overwatch is different to Dark Souls in many ways. Instead of a lone player trudging their way through a grim world as they fight off horrific monsters, in team-based Overwatch you're surrounded by ridiculously colourful settings and characters as you fight off horrific monsters, more regularly referred to as other online players. With a futuristic setting and a bunch of characters toting some unique and tech-filled weaponry, you might wonder where on near-future Earth you'd actually find something as basic as a sword or as simple as a bonfire. But Blizzard is not above shoving an entire basket's worth of Easter eggs into their games, and squirreled one away in a map added post-launch in August 2016. Find yourself in Eichenwalde and head towards the imposing but beautiful castle, and within its walls you can find a small fire complete with blade. It's a pretty sturdy blade too, as your weaponry seems to do nothing to it. Brings new meaning to bringing a gun to a knife fight. Whilst you can't use it as a save point, it is at least opposite a health pack, which is some small relief for players in need of being patched up. Plus, in 2017, a spooky Halloween version of the map was created. Many other items in the map, such as computer monitors and a throne room, were replaced by spooky lab equipment and some kind of horrible Frankenstein's roadhog. That's for hooking me all the time. However, the bonfire stayed put, fitting in rather nicely with the aesthetics and the spooky new lighting. Yeah, still won't budge. Guess I'm not the King of England. Or Eichenwalde.
Oh, Sienna, a bloody long time it's been. You've changed.
Whereas you, not at all, big bad wolf.
Geralt from the Witcher series would probably enjoy Dark Souls. After all, he has a deep love of killing things with swords and superhuman patience that lets him do things like kneel quietly on the floor doing nothing for 24 hours, which is approximately the level of patience required to kill Dark Souls bosses Ornstein and Smaug. He's also a dab hand with fire, thanks to his ability to wield the Igni magical sign, which lets Geralt perform fun tricks like igniting candles in homesteads or burning a whole load of living creatures alive. We'd say there could scarcely be a more appropriate hero to have a Dark Souls Easter egg squirreled away in their game then, and happily Witcher 3 developer CD Projekt Red clearly had the same thoughts when it snuck the hidden Geschäft weapon into the game's Blood and Wine DLC.
The better to eat you with, my dear.
This powerful sword can be found near the exit of the Land of a Thousand Fables, a fairy tale world of make-believe that's become horribly twisted over time, with the consequence that Geralt has to, for instance, have a fight to the death with the big bad wolf. Pretty reckless, Geralt. If I remember my fairy tales, there's a grandma in there. Later, atop a magic beanstalk, having dispatched a giant, Geralt can stray away from the path to find a delightful nod to the Souls series sheltered in a cave. What else but an unlit bonfire that Geralt even kneels at, just like in Dark Souls. There's no levelling up at this bonfire, but Geralt can nick the sword, capping off a really kick-ass Dark Souls homage. If only Grandma were here to enjoy it.
Bottle caps, fake teeth, a corkscrew. Ah, here it is. Red bean.
Red bean? Geralt, where the hell is Grandma?
Hugo, wake up. Come on, we'll walk from here. It'll warm you up.
If we follow the aqueduct, we should arrive at Chateau d'Ambrage before nightfall.
As noted previously, bonfires in Dark Souls are a sign that you can breathe a sigh of relief and take a moment to compose yourself in its protective glow. But in A Plague Tale Innocence, the protective glow of burning flames is even more literal. This little pocket of France has been swamped by a vast number of rats who, not content with merely helping to spread the infamous Black Death, have levelled up to swarming people and stripping them to the bone. Fortunately, these rats are not fans of any kind of light, so torches, lamps and bonfires provide zones of safety as you watch the rodents in the shadows desperately try to reach you. But there is one bonfire that is a little different to the rest. As you guide Amicia, Hugo and Lucas through the French countryside following an aqueduct, you stumble across the remains of a battle.
Oh my god.
And as if that weren't unpleasant enough, rats ambush you in an equine explosion so horrible, we thought very hard about whether we should even show it.
Oh no! The rats! Keep away from them!
We decided, yes! Thus begins your puzzling route across this battlefield of bodies. Not only must you sneak past or murder English soldiers searching for their fallen comrades.
Oh lord. It's horrible.
But it worked.
But you must also manipulate paths of light for you to cross using the various war machinery left behind in the mud. One such machine is a catapult, which helps you open up a path to an all-important stick that burns long enough for you to reach your next lamp along the aqueduct. However, go in the opposite direction towards some smouldering embers and you'll discover a bonfire with a sword, a familiar-looking motif to anyone who has visited Lordran. This is a lovely nod to another similarly bleak but beautiful game, but now we're worried that there might be some of the many giant undead and poisonous rats from Dark Souls amongst A Plague Tale's flesh-eating swarm, and I don't remember any of them being scared of an on-fire stick.
Oh my god, he threw his... You horrible rat!
Oh, they remastered the rats!
Stop your eye and he's poisoned me!
Rats remastered!
Oh my god!
Return to the combat area.
Anyone with experience in online squad shooters will know the idea is usually to help your team work towards a shared goal, and not simply run around getting any kills you can while making air horn noises with your mouth. Yeah, you'll think twice. This coordinated effort is known as playing the objective, and it's very important in games like Battlefield 1, even more so if the objective you're trying to capture is something as important and delicious as butter.
We have taken objective butter.
In other words, it's poor form to wander off from the objective your team is trying to capture, but there is one occasion in Battlefield 1 where it's somewhat more excusable, because it's the only way to get a brief glimpse of a pretty cool Dark Souls bonfire. That bonfire is found, of all places, in rural France, on the map known as Rupture. The site of a previous tank battle, this maze of trenches and fields is divided by the River Aisne. To find this bonfire, however, you'll have to head all the way to the southwestern edge of the map, and then beyond the edge, where you'll find, through a gap in the fence, a blade embedded in a dwindling bonfire. Because it's out of bounds, you can't enjoy it for long, though. You know, I don't see why the horse had to die too. In a neat touch, if you can sprint in and out to the bonfire fast enough, you can actually grab the sword, which is revealed to be a melee weapon. The sword will one-hit kill enemies, assuming you can find enough people still playing Battlefield 1 to hop into a game on this map in particular, which we couldn't. Guess the battle for butter was too important.
We are losing objective butter.
God damn it.
Much like Dark Souls, the Just Cause series is a dark and solemn place to spend time in.
Oh, Ellen. Okay, I will, but let it be noted that this was Ellen's suggestion, not mine. Hang on, I'm going to try and do it from here. Okay.
Okay, maybe not. But Just Cause 3, which allows you to faceplant into walls in a wingsuit and cause ridiculous explosions, also provides a moment of respite with a nod to Dark Souls. Explore the north of the island of Cauda, and around the sandy shores you may stumble across a strange sight next to a pool of water. Here is a small unlit bonfire, but Just Cause 3 being Just Cause 3, instead of a sword in it, there's a rather large gun. And if you want to light that bonfire, Rico's firepower won't do anything. Instead, you must walk up and interact with it just like you would in Dark Souls. This is a fun and definitely unique take on this particular style of Easter egg, but seeing as interacting with objects in Just Cause 3 is met with the sound of a church bell, it somehow still fits with the theming perfectly. Plus, it resets after a while, so you can go back over and over again if you decide you need another moment's peace after harassing the locals. Ah, that did it. All refreshed. Right, back to it.
Being a Jedi is a sacred and respected vocation, and to pledge oneself to this austere life is to embrace an existence of meditation, diplomacy, and only one-shotting space lizards with your lightsaber when you're sure nobody is looking. But nobody is likely to be looking on the remote and sparsely populated planet of Bogano, one of the explorable areas to be found within Jedi Fallen Order. The wildlife might not be equipped to handle the arrival of a Force-powered Jedi, but the craggy, eroded environment will offer more of a challenge, full of chasms to cross and obstacles to test your platforming chops, especially this one slippery corridor that seems at first blush like it'll lead you to absolutely nothing except a lifelong hatred of wall running. Persist though, and you'll be rewarded with a delicious Dark Souls bonfire in the unlikeliest of locations. This lonely rest spot is long extinguished, but features what looks like a torch or perhaps even a scabbard for a sword, which suggests what we're looking at is seriously old, because why would a Jedi need a scabbard? Unless maybe the cheaper lightsabers don't retract? The Dark Souls allusions are clear to those in the know, although this is perhaps the most subtle Bonfire Easter egg on this list. Odd though that developer Respawn Entertainment felt the need to be coy all of a sudden when Fallen Order's combat, level design and progression mechanics are lifted wholesale from the Souls series, but maybe the team was concerned a full-on medieval bonfire wasn't very Star Wars. Not compared with mincing unsuspecting wild animals with a laser sword anyway, which reminds me, those bog rats aren't going to cut their own heads off.
So those are some of the weirdest places you found a Dark Souls bonfire. If you can think of any other examples, because there are loads, please pop your favourites into the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already, because you can then see all our future videos straight sent to you. YouTube will be like, hey, there's another video, especially if you hit that bell. Yeah, I'm doing all the things this week. But if you also enjoy our stuff anyway, we do loads of live streams, we do loads of videos on here. Please do check them out. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Hope you're having a lovely day.